Good morning, everybody. The Church of England is now apostate, if it wasn't apostate before, because of all the things that it's been doing and teaching over the last few decades, as it's been progressively infiltrated by cultural Marxists and has gone further and further and further away from what is actually sound Christian doctrine, teaching you what is in the Bible about Jesus Christ, God, salvation from sin, redemption into eternal life, and how to live a life as a Christian, to follow the Ten Commandments and so on. Now, however, the Church of England is pushing forward someone who is apparently their first non-binary vicar, whatever that means. You can look at the articles. I'll leave a link below so you can see, if you haven't seen it already, of this man who's got some very, very strange makeup on his face and says he's no longer a man, he's non-binary. I think that means that someone who they claim that they're neither male nor female, but something else. Even though he is married, he's got a wife and 3 kids, he's now saying that he's not a man, he's something else, and presenting as something else. I wouldn't, want children to come into contact with somebody who is presenting in the way that he is presenting, to be honest. This is now normalizing things which are not normal at all, and completely go against biblical teaching that there is male and female. God created us male and female, and to come together as a man and wife in matrimony and reproduce and have children. But the more dangerous thing about this is that this person and people in this little bit of the Church of England, probably the whole of the Church of England, like the upper hierarchy, seem to be all fully on board with this, is that they're going into schools and promoting the gender agenda, if you know what I mean, the transgender agenda, to children. So this is going to confuse children because they're not being taught anymore that you're boys or girls. They're being taught things that are in opposition to that, clear Christian teaching and clear science. And that makes the Church of England apostate. And this is quite significant in the UK more than other countries, because the Church of England is actually part of the state in the UK, whereas the Catholic Church is not part of the state in the countries where there's a majority of Catholics. For example, the USA doesn't have a state church. Everything is independent from the church. But the way the United Kingdom is set up constitutionally, because we've got a very long history, you've got the Church of England is the state church. It was set up in 1533, not for the right reasons, because King Henry VIII wanted a divorce, but there were good people around at the time, like Archbishop Thomas Cranmer, who's not as well known as Henry VIII, although very well known, and who wrote the Book of Common Prayer and the 39 Articles of the Church of England, which was very, very good, and actually, set the Church of England up to be a church which was based on the Bible, where people would be allowed to read the Bible for themselves, and got rid of the corruption which was around in the Catholic Church in the 14th and 15th centuries, where people were sold salvation. You paid money to the priests in indulgences and got holy relics, and that supposedly absolved you from sin and so on, which was completely, again, anti-biblical. So, there's some goodness to how the Church of England was set up, but now it's gone completely away from its roots and is now pushing this kind of cultural Marxism. And, they said there in one of the statements this person has made, something like, the church is operating and is interprets the Bible for the benefit of rich, white, heterosexual, and able-bodied, neuronormal people, or whatever that means. And so, rather than just, using all of these cultural Marxist victim narratives, this oppressive victim narratives, to try to change the focus of the church away from looking at individuals and their walk with God, in order to focus it on some kind of bizarre social justice issues which are fabricated in order to create divisions in society, which aren't really there. So the Church of England needs to get back on track, or it needs a complete sweep out of the people who are in positions of authority in the clergy, who are not teaching biblical truth, so that it stops leading the congregations and the nation of the UK and England astray spiritually. We need to get back on track spiritually, because that underpins everything else in society, and that often doesn't get said. But you're not going to find any leadership in the Church of England at the moment. It's like the blind leading the blind. But, if you actually just open your own Bible and read it, you'll find some truth there, which you won't get in the pulpits of the non-binary Church of England.